my build. As you can see, we built it, masked up the canopy, undercoated it, and now I'm going to show you a little trick for, this is what we call pre-shading. A lot of people do it with the airbrush, and on the 172 I find it a bit difficult with the airbrush, but I mean I am learning with the airbrush. So the other trick I do is you need to get yourself a pencil, and it needs to be a 4B pencil, really soft pencil, and all you do is you draw along the line like that. And once you've got it drawn across the line, you get your cotton bud and give it a rub. Don't wet it or anything, just give it a rub, and you rub it until it goes from a hard pencil line to like a soft shade. And the reason for doing that is when you paint over the top of it, you'll see that through the paint, and it gives it like a nice little shaded area, makes it look like you've got it look more like the plane is manufactured than a model. A real one. There's a couple of ways of doing this. On armour, I tend to paint the whole model black and then fill in the higher spaces, the higher pieces with white. That's highlighting rather than low lighting, I suppose, and picking out panel lines. The good thing is you don't have to be, I mean this is precise because you've got a pencil, but if you're doing it with the airbrush, the nice thing is you don't actually have to be that precise, because you can always repaint it up. This is something to do when you're under the paint, so you don't see it as such. There we go. But the pencil is a nice little trick. Now the next thing is just to paint the underneath of this, start putting on the base colours, and I'll come back to you when I've got all the paints out. Right, so here we are, painting. Obviously you can see I've done the pre-shading. So all I've got to do now is paint it, and I'll be using some MIG ammo paints. So Air Set, REF colours, early colours. So I'm going to do the bottom half of the plane first, because that's the easiest bit to mask up. So let's have a look at Sky Type S. There we go. This a shape, and I shall be airbrushing this on. I've got a Harder & Steenbeck Ultra, which is sort of a mid-range airbrush, not the most expensive, not the cheapest either. It's got a 0.2 needle in it, and it's running at about 1.2 psi. I don't know loads about airbrushing, because I'm quite new to it. I've only just started doing it. I do enjoy it. I recommend it to anyone who's on the hairy stick. Start the compressor up. Test spray. there we can see the bottom half all painted nicely, and you can just about see the little pre-shaded parts. You see what I mean by the shadows on the panel lines of the aircraft. The next thing is just to run a little bit of colour on the landing gear, because that's obviously going to be down. Just have a good look around it, make sure I haven't missed anything. Get in there. And that'll be about it. Okay, so paint's now dry on the bottom. So we need to mask this up so that we can paint the other side without getting paint on the top. Using, this is Tamiya tape, it's the thin one. It's not the really thin, I've got a thin cornery one, but this one's about that thick. It's about 10 mil thick, something like that. And it's in, you get it in the, I mean you can buy that, this is in the dispenser. So the dispenser is extra. I think I bought the whole lot. 6mm. There you go. 6mm tape. I'll use this to do the awkward bits at the front and the back. Big wings, I'll just use normal masking tape. it, all ready for the top coat. Let's get some colour on it. Right, so the colour we'll be using said, is medium brown, or whatever colour it says in the kit, but obviously I bought this, so this is the right shade of brown. Do you know what? I knew it was something funny. I've masked the wrong bit up, but yeah. Lovely. Okay, so we've painted the brown on, and the next stage is to sort out the camouflage. Now what I've done here, well I've done most of it because it's a bit on there, is grab yourself some blue tack, roll it into sausages, and then you just wind it onto the plane in a camouflagey fashion. You can look at the back of the box, which gives you the rough idea of where everything should go, but the blue tack basically gives you, stops the spray being in a nice uniformed line. What you end up with is like a feathered edge, as you were, like it's actually been spray painted. It's quite a nice effect. The next thing is the two ways of doing it are, you could either mask up the gaps that you want to be brown with masking tape, or you can use this stuff, Mask Hold. It is like a liquid latex, and you paint it on, and it, to all intents and purposes, it masks it because it goes hard. So you just paint it on like a paint, in the areas that you want masked. So what we're looking at, that's brown, that's green, so this should be brown. You paint it on like this, and then let it go off, and you'll see when I come back I'll show you. So brown, so this is, so I want this bit here. This can be a little messy. The last Spitfire I actually did the camouflage freehand. It was okay, but I think I genuinely need a little bit more practice with the airbrush to get it freehand. There we go. And what we do is we let that dry. Paint the green, so you can just paint the whole thing now, and then we'll take all the masking tape off, and hey presto, we should have a camouflaged painted Spitfire. And then the next step from that would be to give it a clear coat, which we'll do, and then put some mask on, and then put some decals on. Right, so the mask gold has dried, so let's give it some green paint. Oh, we can just wait for that to dry, pull all the masking tape off. So now the green's dried, let's see what we got. You want to leave the masking tape on the canopy because we're going to need to put some clear on it, so you still need to keep the clear parts painted. Not too bad, not too shabby at all. Got a few little bits to touch up, but not bad at all. We'll touch those little bits up now, and then we'll give it a good clear coat, and we can stick some decals on it. It's beginning to look a lot like a Spitfire. Right, so taking all the masking tape off, giving it a coat of clear. So now it's time to put the decals on. I have chosen on this one to try Big Decal Fix from from Humble. This one's probably a little bit easier for people to get hold of, maybe the other one's online. I'll give it a go because this is just a one stage. I have used it before, can't think I had any problems with it, but let's see how we go. So put a little bit in a tub. Start with this one and then we cut your decal. On the paper. This is where those tweezers I was talking about were good, the ones that sort of lock shut so that you can hold your decal. Now what we do is we put that in here, put a little bit more in there, we leave it in there. Decal starts to slide about on the backing paper. Oops. Come on. Use my other plate for mixing palette. God's sake. This is also where you use the bottom of the box. Have a look at the bottom of the box. Make sure you know where the decal goes. This is what they call water slide decals. The decal fix itself is there to make sure that the decal becomes soft, and over time it will sink into all the little panel line recesses, and it makes it look more like a painted on roundel than it does if you've just stuck a sticker on it. As you can see, the sticker now moves around on the paper. So the next thing we do is we put a little bit of decal fix onto the aircraft where the sticker's going to go, where the decal's going to go. Slide it off the paper onto the place where it needs to be. And because you put the decal fix on first, you should still be able to slide it a little bit on so you can get it just in the right place. Once it's there, get yourself a cotton bud and just mop up the excess. You don't want to leave this stuff to dry. Have a little bit of finishing roll on the stake and just dab it down so that we get rid of it. Bit of bits on the top because I've got a couple of creases. Let that dry, and that should have sunk itself down into all the recesses. I've got to say, I do prefer the other way of decaling, so what I think I'll do is I'll show you the other way on the other wing. Because the product I usually use, the old Microset, Microsol, because I do need to get some new stuff. The Decal Fix has got a little bit of an odour to it, and also it took absolutely ages for the decal to actually become loose on the paper. Now what you need for the other two is you need some warm water and the two products, and so let me just go and get some warm water. Right, now when I say warm water, I don't mean go and boil a kettle, literally just lukewarm, so you can still get your fingers in it. You can use cold, it's just I started to use warm water and I found it a lot better. So cut your roundel from your sheet backing paper, get it with hold of it with your tweezers. You pop it in the water, put it in there for about 15-20 seconds. Take it out, pop on a bit of kitchen roll, give it a few minutes. Right, now you need to look at the bowls, because there's a 1 and a 2 stage with this. So the first stage you put on the model itself. The second stage you put on the decal after you've got it on the model. So you wait for this to, there you go, look at that, wobbling around. So we take the first Microsol, it's not a lot in there, paint it onto the model, get your decal, slide it, well, chase the model around. Then what you do is you use the second one to paint over the top of it. That'll now soak into and make it conform. So that's just okay. That's decaling. So all of them the same. Now I've got to be honest, I prefer the second method because you saw how quick it was for that, and the other Decal Fix works fine. There's nothing wrong with it. It hasn't done anything different. It's just the wait, because if you're going to wait for 10 to 15 minutes before you get to put the decal on the aircraft, it is going to take you hours to just put all the decals on, and believe you me, it's probably my most hated part of modelling, and it's also the bit I love the most. I mean, I do think once you've got the decals on, your model comes to life. It's gone from, you know, a painted piece of plastic to an RAF fighter. But I must admit that, you know, if you cop them up, it's soul destroying. It's awful. You know, it really isn't as easy as it looks. Having said that, I don't actually know if I made it that easy. All I can really say is take your time. Make sure you read all the instructions on all the bowls of any kind of decal setting solution you're going to use. And take your time. and that's it. After the decals have gone on, we'll put another coat of clear lacquer on. That makes sure that your blackles are etched in, and then we'll do some weathering, and that should be the end of the video.